you've got 10 grand to spend on a camper van. But is that enough? Today, I'm diving into Auto Trader to show you the hidden gems and the red flags to avoid. We'll go brand by brand to see what you can get for your money. Let's get into it. So, first up, you need to open the Auto Trader app, select the motorhome section, and then we're going to go to price, maximum price, scroll down to £10,000. So we have 265 options to choose from, but that's everything from small vans all the way up to the big motorhomes. We'll obviously concentrate on the van size vans, so we'll try and do everything from micro camper up to, hopefully, depending what we can get, maybe Sprinter, Crafter, Fiat Ducato size. So let's start with everyone's favourite, the Volkswagen. We're just going to select the brand, see what comes up. With 79 options to choose from here. So first up, as I thought, something like a Caddy Maxi. Great camper, good base van. Let's have a look at the photos, see what we get. So you got the pop top. This one's a bit of a specialist conversion. It's got a massive dog cage in the back. So I'm assuming this is someone that's done dog shows. But you do see conversions like that quite regularly without the dog cage, where you've got the bed in the roof, you can sleep in the roof, and you can throw things like mountain bikes in the bottom. You've got a nice kitchen here, lovely looking kitchen. Down the side, that'll be a SMEV with the 2-burner hob and sink, and then you've plenty of storage space. So that layout works really well for someone, either dog shows, obviously that's quite specialist for it, or someone that wants to use it for outdoor activities that needs downstairs space and an upstairs bed. The other thing we see that for quite regular is tradesmen who want to sleep upstairs, leave the tools down the bottom, but they've still got cooking facilities, saves the hotel if they're off away from home on site for 2 or 3, 4 days at a time. Have a quick look. So that's a 2012 van, 187,000 miles, so it is a high mileage van. You'd want to check that it's been serviced, been looked after. If we go into the description, it tells you it's got the pop top, MOT'd, and a full service in June this year. It's got 12 volt and 240 volts, so it's got the hookup so the fridges can stay working. It looks a nice van. For 10 grand, that's a nice van. But let's have a look and see what else we can find. Something like a VW T4, a little bit older. This one's 7495, so well under budget. Let's see what it looks like. It's an older van, obviously a T4. With VWs, they are going to command a bit of a premium. The badge on the front is so synonymous with camping that badge does just mean you end up paying a little bit more for the van. On something like a T4, I would make sure that the mechanicals are good. That's probably the biggest. The mechanicals and also the bodywork. They are prone to rust. They are getting a little bit older now. So just ensure that you're not going to end up with headaches 2, 3, 4 months after you buy it. The last thing you want to do when you've spent your hard-earned money is end up with another bill that's making you wish you just never got a camper van. But it's got a top-loading fridge. Some very grainy photos, but you kind of get the idea. Side cupboards, looks like a bed that folds out. Left-hand drive, a bit peculiar. I'm assuming that's why it's at the price that it is. Bit of an older style conversion as you would expect on a T4, but it's got the pop top. It's a K-Reg, so 1993, 217,000 miles, but it is an older van, so if you work it out per year, that's probably not that many miles. But let's see if we can find something a little bit newer. On the slightly larger side, there's a Crafter, 59 plate Crafter. Looks quite a straight van. Let's have a look at the conversion. It's quite a basic conversion. Someone's wood panelled the sides. I think it's a home conversion, this one, rather than one done by a company. But you've got a fixed bed in the back. I'd look to put a slightly thicker mattress on that, if I'm honest. It doesn't look the most comfortable, but you could soon do that. Again, it's quite basic. You've got some storage space there, a beanbag in the corner for seating, but 3 travelling seats. It's done 200,000 miles, which for a van like a Crafter isn't actually that much. We've seen these 500,000 miles, 400,000 miles quite regular. Again, just check the service history on it. But it looks quite a pleasant van, and there's photos of the conversion. Someone's put proper bed slats, IKEA bed slats, I think. I mean, it's probably quite comfortable, but it's well insulated. Someone's put some time into converting that. It's a nice van, and for the money and the size of van you're getting, it gets you out camping. It's quite sizable. You can put things in it. You'll be able to throw mountain bikes, things like that in it without any problems whatsoever. Let's have a look and see what else we can find. If we keep looking, We'll see if there's any more VWs we can poke at. Well, there's a T5 here, 2005. Doesn't look the nicest base van, but there's a little bit of rust. But inside, it's got a fridge, it's got a conversion, rock and roll bed. I mean, you can see there some nice wide bed. It's a smart bed as well, so good quality bed that. That's they're a top end bed. It's had a nice professional looking conversion. There's no pop top. You can always add that later. That will get you out camping. 3 travelling seats. That's a nice van, and it's getting you in a slightly newer van. The T5 is just a nicer thing to drive than the T4. It makes it more car-like. Right, let's have a quick flick check. There's nothing that really jumps out, but let's try a different brand. So we've tried Volkswagen. Let's go back to the top and see what we can get on a Citroen. There's only 11 options. So you're going to get something small like the Citroen Nemo. Roma Home conversion, really good quality conversion. They've been going years of Roma Home. They do some really nice campers. Pop top on it, so you can stand up in it. Obviously, in something like a Citroen Nemo, which is the smallest of the Citroen vans, you're not going to be able to stand up unless you have a pop top. They are a really small vehicle. Ideally, it's going to be a one-person van. 2 people in there is going to be cramped. But that's the Roma Home R10. You've got a 2-burner hob, a sink, storage, table, bed. That gets you everything you need to get camping. And at that size of van, it's perfect to use as an everyday vehicle. It really is no bigger, if not smaller than most cars. 9995, 141,000 miles. Owned by a lady for 11 years. Use it as a daily driver. There we go. That'll be a nice van. If that's the sort of size you're looking at, that's 100% well within budget and a good van to go for. Let's have a look and see what else we can find. So on the bigger side of things, there's a Citroen Relay 2004, it's 100,000 miles, and for a Relay that really is not much at all. But you've got, this is a proper full-fledged camper. So you've got the rear lounge that converts into a bed, top lockers, a lovely kitchen area. It's even got a bathroom in it. So that really has everything you need to get off camping. You can go for a week at a time, 2 weeks at a time, and that maybe not live. You could do if you really wanted, but nice amount of floor space. That will be a lovely van to use. Citroen Relays are generally fairly reliable vans as well. There you go. So we see the toilet, the swivel toilet. It's got the sink, plenty of storage. That's a really nice camper to get you going. That. Let's have a look and see what you could get as a Fiat. So obviously Fiat and Citroen have quite, for a while now, shared a lot of platforms. So you've got the Ducato is the same as the Relay, the Fiat Scudo is the same as the Citroen Dispatch. They share platforms, so you can quite often get the same van just with a different badge on the front. But different converters prefer one from the other, often for no reason other than convenience of getting vans or something like that. So it is worth looking at both options. Let's have a look at this one. Maybe a funky looking one. So we've got a big Fiat Ducato, £8,200. Let's have a look and see what it's like inside. Not the best photos, if I'm honest. A bit grainy and slightly random photos. A picture of a roof vent there. I'm trying to work out the layout. Little separate sink. I think that might be a grill and hob that's sat into the worktop. I'd say it's probably a home conversion, this. It looks a little bit like someone's done it themselves. Nice fixed bed at the back door. And the good thing about the Ducatos and the Relays, if you're looking at that size of van, is you can sleep across ways. Whereas something like a Sprinter or a Crafter, you have to put the side pods on to make it long enough, especially for someone like me that's ridiculously tall. Whereas on a Ducato, you don't need to worry. You can sleep across ways without a problem. Which generally also means you get a nice storage under the bed. So the fixed bed, the storage underneath, loads of storage, and a nice layout as well. So that's actually a nice van, nicer than it looked at first. They could have done with taking some better pictures, I think. But yeah, a lovely van. They've put the bulkhead in, which means you can't get from the front seats into the conversion. I quite like to be able to move from the front to the back. It just means that your van feels bigger because it's utilising that front space. But a lot of people do like to keep it separate. but that's nice. So let's have a look at one that I'm looking forward to seeing what we can get, the Fords. So I'm expecting to be able to get a cheaper custom here, sort of the lower end of the Ford Transit Custom, which for 10 grand is a ridiculous van. So we see one here. This looks like it's just a van, however. Perfect base to build a low-cost camper. So if you want to do something yourself, this could be nice. £9,000, 2013 van, 100,000 miles. It's a van with a roof on it. I think that's all they've done if I can scroll through these photos. So they've lined it out as well. So you probably want to put some windows in it. Looks like you'll need to put a floor down as well, but that's part converted. If you wanted a bit of a project, that would make a really nice van. But it's not a camper, so let's move on. Just what I was sort of looking for. So this is a Transit Custom, 2014, 93,000 miles. Basic conversion, but that's fine. It gets you out. I assume, oh there you go, there is a mattress included. So you get it's not going to be the biggest bed. I probably wouldn't fit in that, but if you're not ridiculously tall, that would be fine. Nice amount of storage. It's enough to get you away. It's probably not the nicest looking camper, but it's certainly functional. Plenty of space, a fold-out bed, plenty of storage. It'll get you camping, and it's in a Transit Custom, which is a really nice van. They're lovely to drive. You can use them every day without any problems. 3 seats in the front, quite practical daily. Professionally lined and insulated with custom birch ply cabinetry and leisure battery system. Alright, so it's a leisure battery essentially means that you've got a battery separate from the vehicle battery, so that you can use the electrics in the van and you're not going to be in danger of not being able to start your van when you wake up in the morning. Always a good thing to have in a camper van. You wouldn't really want to be running a camper van system off the vehicle battery. It's a bit risky. The last thing you need is to wake up in the morning and not be able to set off somewhere else. We all love camping, but we don't want to be stuck there. But this sounds a nice van. It really does. It sounds like it's just been serviced, and it's got a conversion that'll get you out into the wild and camping. As the owner of Drive Lodge, I'd be daft not to mention it here. We're a family-run business specialising in safe, reliable and ergonomic roofs. For more information, click the link in the description. So we'll scroll down and we'll try a different brand. Mazda. Because I'm thinking we might be able to find a bongo. And if you don't know what a bongo is, it's a Japanese import vehicle that started coming in probably 20 years ago and increased in popularity. They've got a cult following. After the VW, probably one of the most popular campers that you can get. And now, because they're a little bit older, they've come down in value, you can get some really good value campers that are also quite cool. And because they've had a cult following, you can get the parts of them. There's specialists out there. You're never going to be short of, if it does go wrong, getting it back on the road. So let's have a look and see what we can find. First thing we find is a nice black example. Exactly what I was looking for. Pop-top roof, rock and roll bed. Looks like it's on rails, maybe? I'm not sure if they're the rails from the original floor, but that's a really nice conversion. I mean, there's everything you need in that. It's a bit old-fashioned looking with the wood, but you know, a lot of people like that. Plenty of storage, factory blinds on the bongos. They come as standard with the van. Looks like it's got leisure system with 240 hookup because it's got the 3-pin plugs. It's always a good way to tell. If there's 3-pin plugs in a van, it generally means it's got the option to hook it up. But yeah, that'd be a great buy for someone. That'll get you on the road and give you many happy days camping. This is a bit of a different one. This one's actually got a high top on it. One of our high tops. But it means you can permanently stand up in the van. So I'm going to assume... Oh, some arty photo there. Very nice. The night sky. So it looks like a bit of a dated conversion, if I'm honest. 2-burner hob separate. I assume there'll be a sink. It's got the 3-pin plug though, so again, a leisure battery, some lovely fake flowers. Bit of a different conversion, so it's got a rear conversion in this, and then a bed that folds out. Different way of doing it. Looks like it's got the swivel seats on the front, which on a bongo is quite unusual. Because the engine's actually under the seats, you can't swivel the seats in the normal way. You have to buy a special kit that sort of turns them round. It is one of the drawbacks of the bongo, if I'm honest. You can't get from the front to the back. You need to go outside and go in through either the back or the side door. In this case, the side door, because the back door's covered with a conversion. But one of the nice things about the rear conversion is you can then use it from outside the van. So you can access everything from outside the van. And if it's done well, you can actually cook from the outside of the van as well, which when you're going camping on a lovely summer's day, it's a really nice thing to be able to do. So let's have a look and see if there's anything else that jumps out here. Not particularly. So we'll skip down and we'll see what comes after Mazda. Mercedes-Benz. I'm interested to see what we can get on the larger side here. So Sprinter size vans. You should be able to get something that you can stand up in, a little bit more space. Probably not usable as an everyday vehicle, but it's certainly going to get you camping. And if you're someone that likes that extra bit of space, this could be a really good option. So first up, we have a Sprinter. Perfect. So just scrolling through the photos, it's a nice looking van, a couple of bits of dints, but at this money and age, it's a 64 plate, it's a 2014 van, 11 years old. It's going to be expected. So it's fairly standard in the front. Conversion looks nice. If I'm honest, it looks like someone's bought a kitchen, IKEA or Howden's or wherever, and put it in. Nothing wrong with that, works well. Looks like they've done a decent job. Does look a bit like there's a cupboard door missing here, but I'm sure that could be fixed. Fixed bed up top. Again, on the Sprinter, I wouldn't be able to sleep across, but as long as you're not ridiculously tall, you'll be fine. So lots of storage under the bed. It's not covered off, which I quite like there to be a sort of a front here, but that could easily be put in afterwards. Most conversion companies will be able to do that. Double gas burner, comfy bed. Again, it's got everything you need to get you out camping. That there is a godsend. That is a night heater, which means you're not going to be cold if you decide to go camping a bit later in the year or early in the season, even over winter. You just flick that on, keeps you warm. It is in a van this size where body heat's not really going to help out that much. That really is a great feature to have. We'll scroll through and sort of try and pick something out that jumps out at us. Now this, it says is a campervan, £3,495. I mean, this is, if it is, this is a lot of van. So, this is a unique style conversion that they're doing the smaller vans. They leave the second row of seats in, which can be folded flat. And then, if we click on this photo here, you'll see that this bed stores in the back. There's storage underneath it where you can put like a basic gas hob that'll just pull out, bit of storage. You could even squeeze a cool box in there. But if we scroll down a couple of photos, you can see the bed. It's a full 6-foot bed. It goes right over into the cab, the full size of the van. So if you're wanting something that's more of just a car that you can sleep in and occasionally boil a kettle, this is actually quite a good solution. Obviously, well under budget, but it means you can get out, you can go and stop somewhere. You're probably going to need some sort of curtains for that, because I don't think it comes with them. But that's not a difficult thing to sort. But again, for the money, it gets you out camping, and that's all we can ask. You could look at Vauxhall. Let's have a look. There's some Vivaros. Let's have a look at this one. This looks a lot of vehicle for the money. So it's on 183,000 miles on a 2005 plate. It's a slightly older van. Let's have a look. It's got a pop top on it. However, it seems to be missing a part from the front. There should be a cowl that's on this section here that deflects all the wind around the roof. It for some reason seems to be missing. I'm sure you could put a new one on, but it's just something to watch out for. It would be something that you would need to rectify when you get the van. But the interior of it looks lovely. That might even be a rib bed, which is the bed that you sit on one side of and then it folds out and over and you sleep on the other side. So you get a really flat section you can sleep on. Really good beds, actually. but it's got a fridge, it's got storage. That's a nice camper van for the money. Like I say, you might want to put a car on it, but it's £6,850. So you've plenty of money within the budget to be able to do the little bits to make it right. With the Vivaros, they are known, especially this era of Vivaro, they changed in 2014 to the newer shape, which are much better. These are known for being slightly unreliable, so it is worth getting it checked out by a mechanic to make sure that you're not going to have any hidden costs coming your way. But I think that about sums it up. We've seen some great campers, some not so great campers, but it shows that for £10,000 you really can get a lot of van for the money, and there's no reason why it would stop you going out camping and getting out into the great outdoors and exploring. I know we've skipped over a few vans here. If there's something that you really want to see more of, let us know in the comments, because we'll make plenty more of these videos and we'll listen and change to exactly what you want. If you've liked this video, hit subscribe, and YouTube thinks you'll love this video here.